Hey, good morning. It's my friends. Well, it's good to see you this morning on Tuesday. We are spending this week talking to people in Bellevue associated with the school, teachers and students, as they process this COVID quarantine. And the mental health tip for today is to remember that even though we may be isolated from each other, we're not alone. So please take some time to connect with somebody today. Don't feel like you are alone in this, even though you are all alone, because we are isolated from each other physically, but we're all in this together. So connect with somebody. Reach out via text, via social media, via a video chat. Zoom meetings are all the rage. Get on a Zoom meeting. Today we're going to hear from Rick and Wendy Casel. Rick is a high school at-risk and special ed teacher who works with a lot of kids over there. Wendy is a Title I teacher at Andrew Schools, and then their kids attend Andrew Schools. So I'm really excited for you to have some time to listen to a whole family. You're going to hear from all of the family in this interview. And one of the things I really like about what they're doing is they're finding ways as a family to work on projects together. Listen to some of the other things they're doing. I know you're going to enjoy this interview. It's a little bit longer, so make sure you get a cup of coffee and you have some time to listen through it because they've got a lot of really good stuff to share. Let's hear from Rick and Wendy Casel and their boys, Cameron and Carson.
Here we go. Well, hello, everybody. We're doing another interview today as we're interviewing people in the Bellevue community associated with the schools or with the community, is just trying to see how people are dealing with this whole COVID crisis that we're all under. And so today I have invited a colleague of mine, Rick Casel. He's the, what is your title? At-risk
and special ed.
And special ed teacher at Bellevue High School. Works with some middle school kids too as well. And his wife Wendy's here, and she is someone I worked with when I was working at Andrew's school, and so I'm acquainted with the family. But Rick, why don't you introduce your kids, and then we'll talk about what's going on with you guys.
All right, sitting here on my lap is my son Carson, who's 9 years old, and he goes to Andrew School and is in 3rd grade. And sitting to my left is Cameron. He goes to Andrew School and is in 6th grade.
Awesome.
And he's 12 years old. Sorry about that.
And 12 years old. And do you guys expect to be in 3rd and 6th grade again next year, or are you hoping to move up?
Move up.
Okay. How are we going to know if you learned anything? That's the big challenge right now.
That's true.
Well, we'll trust you guys. So just a few questions we're kind of going through with everybody. What have you guys been up to in the 3 weeks that you've had kind of stuck at home? What's this been like for you?
Chores.
Well, I'll kind of speak first. We started the first week with a itinerary list, pretty structured list. It started with breakfast and then went out and do chores and then our academics for how long? An hour, hour and a half?
Hour and a half in the morning.
Hour and a half in the morning. Then there was fun time and then there's creative time. Then it was lunch. And then we start with academics again. So we're on that kind of a structured schedule the first week.
Yeah, how'd that go?
It went well. I thought it really went well. The kid's like, okay, now it's 11 o'clock. It's time for creative time. Okay. You know, so it went well the first week. The second week, we kind of went less, they kind of wanted to go less structured. So on a really nice day, we'd go out and do some things outside that we, you know, like clean different barns out. We cleaned our house out, did some spring cleaning early. But then we also kept our academic time too.
Cool.
So we've kind of done a lot of different things, outside things, inside things. You know, academics are important, but we knew just being outside together, doing projects and working together, exploring outside. We have some wooded area that the boys have went down and, you know, went through the woods and by the caves and stuff like that. So kind of explored.
That's great. Cameron, Carson, is that a pretty good description of what's going on?
Yeah.
And are you guys having fun with it? You look like you're having a good time with everything that's mentioned that's outdoors. It sounds like you really like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been pretty cool. So as a family, we've been at this for 3 weeks. What would you say are some of the struggles with what's going on? What are some of the challenges you guys have faced?
I think being at home has been the best part. You know, like the hard thing for me is I get a little emotional thinking about my kids at school.
Yeah.
The unknown is hard.
Right.
But everything here is what I do know. So that's what I have to concentrate on now most, is what I do know and how we do things as a family. And that's really helped me keep strong.
That's super. What about you boys? What have been some of the kind of struggles of all of this? I mean, I can see you guys are having a good time, but are there some things that have been kind of challenging for you?
I want to see my friends a lot.
Yeah.
I miss them a lot because we used to play games at school and stuff.
Yeah. What about you, Cameron?
Well, now when I play sports, I don't have as much competition, because I'm just at home with him. Sometimes it's not as, he's not my age, so it's not as more competitive.
Yeah. Yeah, the team sports have really vanished. Nobody gets to play team sports anymore. It's really a struggle for kids that are athletic like you.
Mm-hmm.
Wendy, you already talked about kind of the challenge as a teacher because you care about your kids, and I always say this: I don't know any teachers that don't care about their kids. I mean, I'm sure there's some out there, they fake it pretty good, but the big challenge of not being there. What else are you guys experiencing as teachers in this situation in terms of trying to navigate it as a teacher?
It's the unknowns that are the hardest because now with being out for a few more weeks and what our plan's going to be to try to deliver instruction to the kids or make sure that we're meeting all their needs. And we've decided as a district to not fulfill our meal plan any longer. If families do reach out that is a great need, we'll try our best to help them navigate through it. But just the changes all of a sudden, all these sudden things, that's real difficult for me, but I've always had trouble with the unknowns my whole life.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. What about you, Rick?
I think for me, it's like, I know you and I have talked about before with kids, the kids that come from a structured home and, parents being there for them, they're going to be okay. It's the kids that are kind of on their own and have less structure and struggle in school and don't find school important. I worry about those the most. Just, I don't know. I mean, from an economic standpoint, with not having meals maybe all the time to needing instruction when they get them further in life or further in school or you know what I mean? It's just the structure part. I know some kids like the structure when they come to school.
Yeah.
They don't go home. They like that structure. So now what's it like for them? I mean, I worry about that.
And I think with both Rick and I teaching what we teach, because I'm a Title I teacher, and Andrew is how many relationships we've built with kids.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't sometimes know that till they get older and they tell you how much they appreciated your relationship. But now more than ever, you just worry that they don't have that. We don't have that relationship with them right now because we haven't been able to see or talk to them for 3 weeks, going on more now.
Yeah, that's brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff. So we have kind of a 5-point area of pillars of things that we're kind of promoting as a way to focus on things we can do to get stronger. And we're using the Bellevue Inspire model and using SPIRE to have those 5 areas. So I'm just going to go through each of those, and maybe you can talk about how you guys are addressing them as a family and what you're doing to kind of not just, what we're trying to do is resist numbing ourselves, resist going into just this kind of flat, we'll just wait it out and hope something good happens, but really trying to build these. So the first one is spiritual, and spiritual, of course, it can include religious and church things, but it's more just this sense of how are you as a family coming to grips with what this means, what it means in terms of your lives, the lives that we live. How are you guys coping with that, and what are you talking about?
Faith. I mean, it's, we talk a lot about how we have a couple sayings on our refrigerator. One's about attitude. It's a big saying about how life's 10% on what happens to you and 90% on how you react to it. So this is one of those 10% times, right now that this shall pass. And you have to have the faith, that, we're going to do the things that we have control of. and trust that the rest is going to, take care of itself. So just that faith that we will get through this and do the things that we know that we can do, not what we can't do.
Yeah, I really love that. I mean, I hate to comment too much, but just the idea that if we start to focus on the things we can't control, we can really end up feeling like victims. And we don't really have any power over anything. And then we can give up on the things we can control. So I really like that. That's good direction for people. Anything else in this realm?
I think another thing is just being positive with it, finding the positives. I know sometimes we talk about the coronavirus too much, and it's kind of depressing. Instead of, hey, let's find the positives in life. What's positive for today? What can we find? Instead of talking about negatives, let's talk about the positives, because as we all know, the negatives beat us down.
Yeah.
Just being positive with one another and being positive, talking about positive things, not all the negative things. That's
really good stuff. Absolutely cracking stuff. Every family needs to do that kind of thing. Hey, what about the physical pillar? How are you guys taking care of yourselves? And this goes from everything like staying active. I hear you guys are outside. I'm not too worried about that. But even simple things like, you're brushing your teeth. Are you taking a bath once in a while? It's pretty easy to get lazy about your physical health. Are you eating well? Are you drinking lots of water? What are you guys doing physically?
Well, we've been drinking lots of water, and I know we wash our hands a lot more now. I probably wash my hands once a day more than I usually do a week now.
Quality stuff, man.
I shoot some hoops outside, and I eat healthy, eat apples and oranges and stuff like that.
That's great.
You drink lots of water?
I drink a lot of water and healthy drinks.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, just to add that. We try to be, we are lucky because the boys want to be active. So, we still stay intact. We go out, we hit baseball, we throw baseball, shoot baskets together, hike in the woods. The other day we had kind of a bigger project. We had to chainsaw some branches and move a bunch of brush, and we did that probably for 3 hours. All 4 of us together, working together. We talk about working together. I know Mrs. Tyson, who used to be a paraprofessional at our school, always used to say, more hands make work light. And we kind of use that as a phrase around our house. So just helping each other out.
I think it's now more than ever, it's not what we say, it's what we do. So I've been really internalizing that. I'll be real honest with you, Rick takes the boys out and does a lot more stuff than what I'm usually staying in the house and getting things done. And I'm kind of trying to put a pause on that, just on these beautiful days, to get outside and be more physical myself,
Yeah.
So it's really changed me. It's changed who I want to be for the best.
That's cool. And those are the growth points that we're looking for. All right. What about the intellectual? What are you doing to keep your brain stimulated? You're doing some schoolwork. What else?
We do,
Cameron kind of has a celebration that he can share with you about some math things he's been doing.
Yeah. What's up with that?
there's this thing called Alex that we do. And then there's 300 some topics we have to complete each year for math. And then, you have to get, so once you get all of them, you're at 100%, and you have to meet a certain percent each month. And I'm at 99% right now.
Wow, that is great. That is super cool.
His middle school math teacher, Mr. Redazel, props to him, has already been in contact with us and sent him a certificate of some awesome stuff, and already has looked into what he can do to challenge him to go to that next level. So
that's great.
But they're reading a book together. That's been really cool for me to see as a mom. We didn't really know that they had the same novels, so they're reading a novel together, and it's just all those things that you knew probably that you did well are now starting to surface as kind of everyday habits, and it's just a real celebration for the boys.
That's great.
And
all right, we got 2 more areas. Oh, you want to say something there?
I was going to say 3 days a week, the boys and I are together doing something, and they read an hour to me out loud.
Oh, that's cool.
It's kind of cool. Sometimes I fall asleep, and sometimes I don't, but that's kind of cool too, because I get that opportunity to listen to them read, which is fun for me.
Really good.
Mhm.
Relationally, you guys have already kind of talked about that you're doing things together, you're finding yourselves cooperating, talking about doing projects together. That's all really good to stay tight as a family. So you don't, I know in some families that I've heard and I've talked to, people are kind of drifting to their corners and not being intentional about spending time together. Doesn't sound like a problem for you guys. Anything else relationally, and are you connecting with people outside of your home right now? Relatives and other people that you know?
Yeah, our mom, my mom, and Boyce's grandma only lives a quarter mile down the road. We were at first going into her house, you know, when this first started, and then we decided we better not, because I'd go to the grocery store, come home, decided that we better not do that, just for her sake. But we still go down and visit from outside. You know, she might be in the house, so opens up the window, we talk. I know I just called a really good friend of mine today who lost his dad here a couple weeks ago and talked to him for about an hour, and that was really good. And that was a really good conversation. Yeah. Cameron belongs to a traveling basketball team and the Iowa Barnstormers, and they communicate every day through Team Snap. So they have to, like, the coach will give them a workout, and then we take pictures of that and put it online. Hey, this is what Cameron did today. All the guys are doing that together. So it's kind of cool because Cameron's like, oh, what's so-and-so doing today? What did he do today? You know, so that's kind of, they've kind of connected that way. Friend, that's the only really thing they've done with their friends as far as flip grids. Cameron's got a thing at school they can do flip grids, and Carson too, sorry. And so the teacher will send out a question or send out a challenge for them, and then the kids have to respond back. And that's kind of cool because I know that they like seeing their friends respond because they don't really get to talk to them much. We have, Cameron's emailed one of his. We've also had a chat with a couple of his friends on FaceTime the other night. We did that. So not as much as maybe we should, but I think now they're missing them more, so we need to do more of that.
Sure.
And you've been really helpful too, Mr. Ott. I just want to tell you a big thank you, you know, from me personally, because I've been watching your messages that you've been putting out on the Bellevue Facebook page, and I've had the opportunity. I had 3 friends reach out to me after I sent them the first link, and so now I send them a link of your message every day. So you're reaching a lot of people, and we can't thank you enough.
Wow, it's really been fun. It's, you know, kind of like you guys, I miss the kids. You know, as teachers, you kids, you miss your friends and probably miss some of your teachers, but we miss you guys a lot. And you know, this is what I came up with to try and help out. So I appreciate you guys jumping in on this. Our last area is emotional, and stress always produces a lot of emotion for us. We have to deal with all kinds of things. How are you guys processing things emotionally? Are you finding yourselves getting frustrated or angry or sad or just kind of losing energy? What are you doing emotionally?
I'm sad because I don't get to see my friends.
Yeah.
So how do you handle that?
I just do some FaceTime with some friends that I know that don't live that far away on my dad's phone.
Cool.
And we keep him busy. I mean, when we all started this, Rick wouldn't tell you this, but he had a list of 28 things. I counted them for us to do. And we're still not done. So keep him busy.
Keep him busy. That's a good thing to do.
Cameron's kind of done some other things. He's been exercising. I mean, he always exercised, but he's been exercising more. And he's like, well, I didn't realize that relieves stress. I'm like, well, it does. It helps relieve a lot of things. But I think he's learning that process of, you know, we talk about stress and ways to deal with it.
Right.
I mean, he likes to exercise. He likes to jump, push-ups. Got him some real lightweight dumbbells just to work on technique stuff because he likes doing that now.
Oh, he's sitting right next to a couple dumbbells right now. They're the kind of lightweights. Anyway, this has been really good. We're closing all these interviews with this question because we want to be looking forward and not just stuck where we are. What do you think is one thing you're learning about yourself or about life or about your family that as you move forward is going to be a positive for you? You're stronger because of it. What's something you're learning right now?
I think I'm a little bit older. So, I mean, with young kids, I mean, that's, for some people, that's probably not, they don't understand that part. But I've always taken a big part of my kids' life because it's important. I put other things off maybe, things outside of our house I put off because of my kids. They come first. But I know that through this, I've appreciated that even more, what I'm doing. I sometimes, Wendy gets on me, we don't go out and socialize enough outside our house, but I really like my kids and I want to be around my kids. I mean, that's important to me. And so I appreciate that. I appreciate that even more so
Cool.
than I did.
Good.
I'd piggyback off that too. Just being grateful. I think I've always considered myself a grateful person, but just really be grateful for the time that we have. We're so lucky being educators that we get to be home.
Yeah.
Now. I mean, there are no words that can express how lucky we feel. And me, just my circle of control, what I can control, what I can't control, and don't sweat small stuff.
Good. All right, boys, something maybe you're learning about yourself or about your family right now.
Yeah.
I'm kind of grateful that our parents can play with us and stuff, because some kids, their parents are working or they're working from home. They don't pay as much attention to them. Or ours spend lots of time with us and play with us, make sure we know what we have.
That's great.
I'm thankful that my mom and dad don't make me do technology too long. Like other parents let them play all day, like video games or watch TV all day.
And you're grateful they don't let you. You have no idea, Carson, how smart your parents are, and how many more parents, how many more kids would benefit if they didn't have quite as much screen time. It's not that screen time by itself is evil. It's just that too much of it can turn your brain into a Jell-O pudding. And you're having enough trouble with your brain right now, so we don't need to do that. You guys have been great. This has been so much fun, and I really appreciate it. I know some other families are going to watch this and really appreciate the insight you guys have. It's a real encouragement just to know that, we're all in this together, and we're all having experiences like this. So I just want to say thanks to you guys, and hope you have a good rest of the weekend.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you too.
Bye.
Take care of yourself.
Wow. Wasn't that some great stuff? And it's so good to see the family that's finding some ways to cope with it. And yeah, everybody there misses their friends, misses their students, misses the people that they get to see on a regular basis. But they're finding some ways to cope and to stay stronger. And that's what we're all about. We're trying to be Bellevue Inspire, working on those 5 areas to get stronger as we wait for this crisis to move ahead and get to a place where we can be together again. Tomorrow we'll have another interview from Stacey Hewing and her daughter Taylor DeWitt, who's a 6th grader in Bellevue. It's a really great interview. I know you're going to enjoy it. So have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.